Next Wednesday night for our BrickFlix event, representatives from Tribeca and Sundance will be here too. But today, let's meet the programmer for the Urban World Film Festival, now celebrating 20 years of showcasing films that reflect the diversity of the African diaspora. Aida Muhammad, welcome back to BK Live.
Hey.
Happy to see you again.
Good to see you as well.
Good deal. And from the Margaret Mead Film Festival is Noah Bashevkin, the associate programmer for The Office, Performing Arts and Film. Thanks for joining us, Noah.
20 years?
20 years.
Has it really?
You don't look a day over 19.
Well, you know, they say, you know what they say. No, yeah, 20 years. It's been phenomenal. I've been with the festival for 6, so I feel kind of like a baby to the veterans. But yeah, 20 years as of September.
Well, for people who haven't had an opportunity at some point during those 20 years to come out and check out the Urban World Festival, can you tell us a little bit about how it just sort of got started, and what do you think is the driving force to allow it to have stuck around so long?
Wow, I mean, the start was really the brainchild of Stacy Spikes, who creatively was working in the music industry for some time, and he was a lover of film. So he knew that there was an audience, that there was a community, but there was also like the lack of a voice that needed to be heard. So he created Urban World, and it has, over the years, transformed lives. It's really changed the industry, I think, especially here in New York, and the conversation about inclusion and diversity, and seeing those faces on the big screen who look like us many times, and just a reflection of the communities in which the conversation of film is not always well represented. So we have been in Manhattan for several years at AMC. AMC is a great partner, and we really appreciate utilizing their facilities, and also just 42nd Street. I mean, just being right in the heart of Manhattan in Times Square. And so we're up against all of these studio films in many ways in the same house. So Urban World is, thriving, and we look forward to many more,
Well, Noah, not that it's a competition. They've been 20 years strong. How long has the Margaret Mead Film Festival been?
The Margaret Mead this year just celebrated its 40th anniversary, so it's just about double.
We're babies.
Double Urban World.
Yeah.
But our focus is a lot different from Urban World. It's not that there's a competition. We are.
Well, your namesake.
Our namesake, Margaret Mead, celebrated anthropologist, and the Margaret Mead Festival really lives up to her legacy and is invested in programming films that are going to expose audiences to both new cultures and also new ways of experiencing those cultures and new ways of viewing those cultures.
Well, how do you sort of bring the audience with you when you have such diverse programming? I mean, you're 40 years in the game, 20 years in the game. That's a lot of experience. But, the industry changes, technology changes. What allows you to sort of curate the programming that sort of always stays relevant?
Well, Margaret Mead is very lucky to call the American Museum of Natural History in Manhattan its parent organization, and we have certainly a built-in audience of people all over the city and outside of the city who are familiar with the American Natural History brand and are familiar with curiosity about anthropology and cultural anthropology to begin with. And so the Margaret Mead has been able to use that to really program films that can speak to that audience of museum goers in the city to bring new voices and new perspectives into a conversation that they might be already used to having.
So, Aida, going on this theme of what Aaron was saying, everyone is a film producer now when you have a studio in your pocket with your phone, and there's all these other means of distributions. How do you guys not get run over by that sort of trend and the changing technology and incorporate that and amplify it in a lot of ways?
We're a platform, and so those homegrown, organic, grassroots filmmakers who have a phone in their pocket are really the driving force behind what we do. If the content wasn't being created, we would have nothing to show or present. So I think we really are grateful for the fact that so many people are starting to use their voice through technology and other ways to get stories told. So I don't really ever feel like we're in competition with even other platforms or film festivals because it takes all of us to present the stories of the world, and there's so many to be told. So I think we would all be overwhelmed if it was just one or two.
Yeah.
And Urban World's been really intentional about making sure that we tell the stories that are really important to us and to our audiences.
Well, I have to ask, with so many sort of platforms available, how important and relevant is it nowadays for a filmmaker to present at the festivals?
Festival runs that's what's basically the term for a film that does, it's like the festival run. There's a theatrical run, but the festival run for most films is a process and a journey, just like filmmaking itself. It starts with the idea and the concept, and then it, blossoms into this production, and you get an opportunity to see the final work. So when a film is very strategic around the type of distribution they want to have, they usually start with festivals because they get the voice of the audience. They get an opportunity to engage with the audience just one-on-one, and many filmmakers take that advantage and go for Q&As and things like that. So I think the value and importance of a film going through that process really helps them kind of build out what they want their film to be after the festival run, how they want it to live, whether it be digital distribution or theatrical.
So we expect a lot of gems like that when you guys have your evening here. So I'm going to ask you to give me a preview of what folks can expect when they come to the Brick Flicks event. When is it, Aaron?
The 14th?
The 14th. Keep us honest. The 14th.
The 13th.
13th. Somebody get down to Brick on the 14th for this thing. So what
Just
can
be here all week. It'll happen at
Just
some
come
point.
every day.
There's a cafe.
So much
It's
to
fine.
see.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're really looking forward to having 4 programmers from Margaret Mead Film Festival, Urban World, as well as Doc NYC and Sundance, and Tribeca, here to share clips and trailers from some of their favorite films from recent festivals, and also just be able to speak among each other and with the audience about what they look for in programming, what's kind of the experience and the benefit of submitting to their film festivals, and really focus on also just their personal taste and focus on an aesthetic that might be different from each other. So we really hope this to be also a panel discussion, but also a conversation with the audience, to have filmmakers and film lovers come from Brooklyn, Manhattan, all over New York.
Yeah, we want seasoned filmmakers and novice filmmakers and
Exactly.
everybody in between, because it is a
enthusiasts.
conversation.
Well, I know we're out of time, but just speaking about the personal, can I just ask you for a second? Like, about festival time, you hooked me up the last time you were here. I got passes. Thank you very much to Urban World. So do you get a whole lot of friends? You weren't here that day, sorry.
We'll be here
So if you get a whole lot of friends around festival time who want to come and like see the movies and all that jazz, but I wonder just on the daily, do you guys see a lot of movies? Are you like constantly like traveling to see things, or do people send you screeners, or are you waiting in line at the movie theater? What's the life of a programmer like?
We were having this conversation downstairs. You just can't turn it off. It's just a love. It's like an athlete who watches Sports Center, or a show or basketball games. I think for us, I love film, and so I find every outlet, if it's in theater, if it's online. And I'm always looking through that lens.
Yeah.
So if there's a story that I see that I'm like really drawn to, I'm hoping that it's a film out there about it.
Yeah.
And if there isn't, then I go seek it out. And I think, it's just a matter of never losing the love for film.
So when was the last time you paid to see a movie then?
Last week.
A couple nights ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sort of old-fashioned, and I still love going to a multiplex and seeing a big screen film, especially at this Alamo Draft House. I just gotta
Really? I was
get
thinking
a
Metro
milkshake and then just enjoy a big screen
Metro
movie.
Grass.
So the movie experience is alive and kicking in Brooklyn.
Good to
Oh
know.
yeah, Brooklyn is live and kicking, just always.
In all regards.
All right, we gotta go.
Okay,
Thank
so
you, guys.
December 14th, find yourself on the Stoop. It's a free event. Come and meet these guys, learn about film and the
questions.
festivals.
Yeah.
And you might be in one sometime, right?
Hey.
All right, moving on. Thank you
Thank
very
you.
much, guys.